Part 1. The Myth of the Natural. Let's talk about a lie we've all been sold. The lie is this: that power is loud, that seduction is about cheekbones, and that confidence comes from a full head of hair or a tailored suit. We look at the screen, movie stars, influencers, CEOs on magazine covers, and we think, if I looked like that, life would be easy. But let me tell you a secret that the self-help industry won't pay for. Some of the most magnetic, unforgettable, and dangerous people I have ever studied or met in a dark bar at 1 a.m. were physically unremarkable. They were short, bald, overweight, or had crooked teeth, and yet the room bent toward them like flowers toward a broken window. Why? Because seduction, real influence, has almost nothing to do with the geometry of your face. It is a language. And like any language, if you don't speak it, you are mute, regardless of how expensive your suit is. The greatest seducers understand a brutal truth. People are starving, not for food, but for attention. Real, undivided, non-judgmental attention. In a world where everyone is screaming into the void of social media, the person who knows how to listen, truly listen, holds a weapon that cannot be defeated. Think about the last time someone actually looked you in the eyes without glancing at their phone. Felt rare, didn't it? That rarity is your entry point.
Part 2. The Anatomy of Influence. So, what is this power everyone is obsessed with? We think it's Putin, or a president, or the boss who fires people on a whim. That's not power. That's force. Force is clumsy. Force breaks things. Power is different. Power is the ability to make someone want to do what you need them to do, without them ever realizing they were guided. I want you to separate your life into two categories: the public mask and the private mirror. The public mask is the suit of armor you wear to survive. It's the smile at the meeting, the calm voice during the argument. This is not fake. This is strategy. Humans are animals who learned to wear clothes. We also learned to wear personalities. Do not be ashamed of this. The private mirror is where you go to wash the mask off. This is where you keep your sanity. The mistake people make is they confuse the mask for the mirror. They become the character they are playing. They post the perfect vacation photos until they forget they were miserable the whole trip. That is the road to madness. If you want to be powerful, you have to be a great actor. But you can never forget you are on a stage. When the curtain falls, you need to go home, eat toast in your sweatpants, and remember who you actually are. That distance, that ironic distance, is the secret to not burning out. Part 3. The Anti-Seduction Trap. 10 minutes. Let's get practical. Why is dating so hard now? Why does it feel like everyone is disposable? Because we have forgotten the ritual. Seduction is a mating dance. It takes time. It takes effort. And effort is the most attractive cologne in existence. I want you to picture two people on a first date. Person A shows up in their work clothes. They check their smartwatch 3 times during the appetizer. They talk about their side hustle and use a discount code for the meal. They are efficient, logical, and safe. Person B shows up 10 minutes late, slightly out of breath. They forgot to brush their hair. But they look at person A and say, "I apologize. I saw a dog playing in a fountain on the way here, and I just stopped to watch because it made me happy." Who is more attractive? Person B. Always. Why? Because person B offered vulnerability. Person B signaled that they are not a robot running an efficiency algorithm. Anti-seduction is perfection.
Anti-seduction is preaching. Anti-seduction is trying to prove you have value. Seduction is assuming your value is already there and being curious about the other person's soul. If you are struggling to connect with people, ask yourself, do I want to be interesting or do I want to be interested? If you pick the first one, you will die lonely. If you pick the second, you will never eat dinner alone again. Part 4. The Brutal Path to Mastery. 15 minutes. Let's shift gears. We've talked about playing the game. But what is the point of playing if you have no skill? I am terrified for this generation. Not because you are lazy, you aren't, but because you have been tricked into believing that success should be instant. We watch a 30-second recipe video and think we can cook. We watch a streamer win a game and think we can compete. Here is the hard truth. The human brain is a forest. Neural pathways are paths in the woods. The first time you try something, playing guitar, coding, writing, carpentry, you are hacking through thick jungle with a machete. It is slow. It is painful. It feels useless. But if you go down that same path every day, eventually the jungle clears. After a year, it's a dirt road. After 10 years, it's a highway. And after 20 years, you drive it without thinking. You become Stevie Wonder, blind and flying across a piano because the highway is so wide you couldn't fall off if you tried. That is mastery, and there is no app for it. Stop looking for the passion. Passion is a liar. Passion is the fireworks at the beginning of a relationship that fade by Tuesday. You need discipline. You need to love the process of sucking at something. You need to be willing to be the stupidest person in the room for 5 years. Most people quit because they cannot stand the boredom of the plateau. The plateau is where you stay the same for months. That is the graveyard of ambition. If you can survive the plateau, you will become a ghost, rare, untouchable, and powerful. Part 5. The Chaos of the Spark. I have to tell you about a moment when the theory stopped and the reality hit. Imagine you spend your whole life studying strategy, control, and movement. And then, in a single second, a wasp stings you. And that sting, combined with a missed pill, a moment of exhaustion, a cosmic alignment of bad luck, steals half your body. I woke up. The left side of my body was gone. Not asleep. Gone. I couldn't type. I couldn't hike. I couldn't tie my shoes. The man who wrote about power was reduced to a child, asking for help to button a shirt. Here is what I learned in the rubble. You do not know what you have until the floor drops out. That walk you take for granted, it is a miracle. That ability to type an email without thinking, it is magic. When you lose your agency, you face a choice. You can become a victim, bitter about the unfairness of the universe. And it is unfair. The wasp didn't read my book. Or you can find a new strategy. I had to learn to walk again. My progress was measured in millimeters. I would spend an hour in therapy and see zero difference. That is hell. But I realized that my stroke was the ultimate lesson in seduction and power, because I had to seduce myself into staying alive. I had to use the 48th law on my own depression. Assume formlessness. I stopped fighting the paralysis. I accepted it. I began to see the world through the eyes of the disabled, the weak, the struggling. And for the first time, I understood that true power isn't about dominating others. True power is gratitude for the breath in your lungs. Part 6. The Shadow and the Light. 10 minutes. We have to talk about the dark side. You cannot read books about human nature without looking in the mirror and seeing a monster. Everyone has a shadow. You have a voice inside you that is envious, petty, aggressive, and selfish. Most people spend their lives building a wall around that shadow, pretending it isn't there. They post quotes about good vibes only. That is a lie. That shadow is your fuel. The artist who paints the masterpiece, they are channeling their rage. The athlete who wins the gold, they are running from their father's disappointment. The entrepreneur who builds an empire, they are trying to fill a hole where love should have been. Do not kill your shadow. You can't. Instead, train it. Give it a job. Are you naturally arrogant? Good. Use that arrogance to demand excellence from yourself. Just don't speak it out loud. Are you deeply insecure? Good. Use that insecurity to study people so hard that you become a mind reader. The most dangerous person in the room is not the one without fear. It is the one who has looked at their own capacity for evil, nodded at it, and said, "I see you. Now sit in the corner and behave unless I need you." Stop pretending you are a saint. You are a mammal. You are an animal wearing pants. Once you accept that, you stop being offended by human nature and you start being effective.
Part 7. The Final Law. 5 minutes. So, where does that leave us? You want to be powerful? Stop trying to control the world. Control your reaction to it. You want to be seductive? Stop talking. Listen. Listen like your life depends on it, because in a social sense, it does. You want to be a master? Embrace the boredom. Fall in love with the repetition. And please, for the love of everything you hold dear, stop taking your body for granted. Walk outside. Feel the sun. Touch the grass. Run until your lungs burn. You think you have time. You think you are invincible. You are a house of cards in a hurricane. And that is not a reason to be afraid. That is a reason to be awake. The game of life is dirty, beautiful, unfair, and magical. Play it with your eyes open. Use your mask, but know your mirror. Love your shadow, but don't let it drive the car. Go out there. Be interested in someone. Build something with your hands, and be grateful for the pain, because the pain means you are still in the game. Thank you.